have to enjoy the work that you do. You have to feel that you're happy to come to work each day and to be playing the role that you're playing in whatever organisation that you're with. I think it's about knowing that whatever you're going to take on as a business, as a team, that everybody has something to offer. There just has to be the right environment in place for that to happen. Well, I started off as a solicitor, and I then began working. This is in Australia, and then I began working as a migration agent in Brisbane. And then in 2006, I moved to Dublin. I was working here in Dublin as a migration agent as well for another company. And then in June 2008, the opportunity to start my own business came along, and I decided that I was in a position of, where I'd learned enough about the business. I felt confident enough to take responsibility for work that I was doing. So I decided to become self-employed, and I started my own business, and that's now the immigration agency. So we're just over 4 years old.
Yeah. This
year. The business has been through so many stages, and very, very positive stages. It's been growing slowly but surely. We've built a really good reputation here so far with our Irish clientele, that people are becoming more and more aware of our brand. People are becoming more and more aware of the high level of our service. And I see the future is very, very bright. I really would like the business to get to a point where we are the most recognisable brand for visa services here in Ireland for anyone wanting to go to Australia, and that we keep growing. Size is not so much a huge concern to me, but it's more growth in terms of how well the business does in terms of delivering the services that it promises to clients, of getting those visas through. The essential service we provide is to do with visa applications. So we help people who want a particular type of visa that's going to help them live and work in Australia. So we can help clients with temporary work visas, and we can also help clients, say for example with permanent immigration. So they want a permanent visa to live and work in Australia on an indefinite basis.
Well, I've been involved since the beginning, really, just on the website and social media side of things. I've done quite a lot of different kind of businesses in my life, so I had quite a bit of experience in other things. I used to work in film and TV. I was a therapist for a long time. I'd written a couple of books, and it was when I finished my last book, in fact, that things just had exploded really for Maggie, and the business was just expanding really fast. And she asked me to come in and work with her full-time then in the immigration agency.
We want to grow the immigration agency to a stage where we can have a range of Australian migration agents based here in Dublin, and helping our clients with their applications. And at the same time, we also want to help our client base that are already in Australia and who know our services and who we have a working relationship with. And now we are actually putting into action our plan to open up a Sydney branch office, and that should be happening later on this year in 2012. And we're very, very, very excited about this prospect, and we think that it's really going to add a lot to the level of service that we can offer our clients here in Ireland, and also to our clients when they are in Australia.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who've gone to Australia on 1 year working holiday visa, managed to extend it out to 2, but now there's a lot of Irish people who are there, and unless they can find some way to stay there permanently, they're going to have to come back. So there's a weird kind of thing where there's people here in Ireland who are referring us, because they know us because we're based in Dublin, to their family in Australia. So we're getting kind of contact from people in Australia who've heard about us through their mother or their granny who lives down the road, kind of thing. So to have an office in Sydney is, or just in Australia generally, but we're going to be based in Sydney, is really important to be able to deal with those people there.
It's great to have a successful business. It's great to be able to hire people and have staff so you know that you're creating jobs. We really do need it here in Ireland. But at the same time, I think there's a bigger perspective. I think business can be done and used to better the lives of many people, not just the people that work in the business or the owners of the business. And it's one of these values that I hope that as the immigration agency grows and flourishes and we can we have people coming into our team and working and there's a lot of sharing of ideas about what we can do for our community using the business as a vehicle. I think that's very exciting prospect. We don't just care about business in its own little box. We care about what business can do for the community that we live in.
Yeah, but I think
and a broader community as well. We're not just talking about Dublin, or we're not just talking about Ireland. We could be talking about.
I think it's an idea that actually changes the way you do business, because the old model of business was very cutthroat and very, the art of war, Gordon Gekko kind of approach. Whereas when you come from the idea of doing business for good, it actually informs the way you do business, because you're not so focused on the competition. You're not so focused on maximizing profits, and it's not so aggressive. It's more people centered first, and then that makes you think about everything from pricing to the service you offer, the way you offer it, as well as these kind of external kind of projects that we want to do.
What we do in terms of immigration, in terms of visa applications, is very serious work. And I think that with that comes the need for a balance, So if we spend all our time with our serious hats on, which you do have to do, because by the nature of the job itself, that's important to do, but at the same time there has to be a balance, because you can't sustain that for too long before you really just find the whole situation depressing. Migration agents, for example, tend to be a very, very stressed group of people, and it's because they, at the end of the day, are held responsible for everything that might happen in the client file. Now, to a certain degree that has to happen, because there are rules and regulations about how migration agents are regulated and so forth. But at the end of the day, I think that we can go beyond that. We can go beyond how migration agents are regulated. We can go beyond that and say, well, as a team, we take responsibility for a client's application. And at the end of it, when a visa is granted, the team sits down that works on this application, and we talk about what went right, and we talk about what went wrong, or what we could have done better. And I think that the spirit of collaboration will be the key to how successful we are. And I feel that it's a value that I hold, very, very, very strong value that I hold, is this thing of working together, and for people to take responsibility and share responsibility, and that everybody also can share in what happens, good and bad, at the end of the day.
Well, it's our intention to hire smart, capable people. So, we're not going to go to all the trouble of finding smart, intelligent people and then micromanage them.
We're not a sweatshop of visas. You're not going to be sitting at a desk for 8 to 10 hours a day, slaving over paper. It's going to be more than that.
Yeah, it's going to be 12 hours a day.
It's going to be 15 hours a day. 100 hours a week.
On a good week.